Hey, I dare you to watch me eat these. Greetings and welcome back to another sourlicious episode of the Vodkast. I'm your host, as always, Jason Oliveira. With us today is the Twizzlers Filled Twists, the sweet and sour. So, there's a new section at Walmart. You guys may have noticed it over the last year. Maybe you guys have had them for a while wherever you're watching this from, but here in the South, we're a little bit behind on things. Is that racist? I don't think so. In this section, they had these Twizzlers. There was the creamsicle, oddly enough, which I didn't get, which I think I may have done a review of those. But anywho, we'll get back to that another time. And the other selection they had was sweet and sour. Now, when I think of sweet and sour, I think of like chicken. I think of Chinese food when I go. When I was a kid, the first thing I ever tried for Chinese food was chicken fingers. And I'm sure it's a very Americanized thing, but that sweet and sour sauce stuck with me. And whenever I think of sweet and sour, that's what I think of. I don't think of Twizzlers, and I definitely don't think of candy. But when I think of sour, I think of the things that happen in my mouth. Think about the things that happen in your mouth when you eat something sour. When I eat something sour, my taste buds come alive, and I don't try to hide that sour. I like to take 2 Sour Patch Kids and put them on the sides of my tongue as far back as possible and just let that sour go to work. Some companies, when they call their product sour, they're like, tea, it's lemon flavored. We got you, it's sour. And you're like, no, that's not sour. People who love sour know what sour is. And if Twizzlers is lying to me here, if I find out that this is, here's a little lemon, ooh, we got you again. Oh, we're going to have some problems. Let's bust into these. Stay tuned for a special message after this episode. So it looks like we got 2 flavors here. There is Cherry Kick and Tropical Punch, if I'm not mistaken. Contained within this package is 2 flavors, Citrus Punch and Cherry Kick. I can't really kick above the desk because, well, ooh, that's a lot of smell in there. Sometimes you don't get a lot of smell. Sometimes it's just plastic and packaging, but that's a lot of smell. There's a lot of things happening here. It's not a bad smell, but there's definitely a hint of like preservatives or some kind of chemical in there as well. I'm going to start with the Citrus Punch. I'm assuming this is citrus. I don't think that they would do a cherry in yellow. That would be kind of weird, don't you think? Contained within these, I don't know if you can see this or not, there is some kind of gelatinous goo. So here we go.
I feel like there's something stronger. After outside lingers longer. 'Cause I feel some of that. Slept on piles of dirt and shit.
Okay, first one's great. I'll wash that off. It's just a little bit of cat hair on it. If you live in this house, you have a little bit of cat hair on you at all times. I'll hold my judgment for now. Let me try the cherry one real quick here. Look at, they whip around too. You'll whip somebody. See? They double as self-defense. All right, give it a whirl.
Wake up and I'm sick of life. Same old compromise. What does sit upside down? Followed by this dying sound.
Holy wow, that's pretty good. They're both good. They're sour in the good way, but not to the extreme. Not like taking, a crybaby and sticking it under your tongue or anything along those lines. Actually, if you go back, there's an episode of the Vodkast and Friends, if I'm not mistaken, where Jess and I do like a sour versus gross. I can't remember what we did, but it was fun, and there was some sour shit on there, and wow. Whew. Maybe there wasn't. That might have just been a Zoom night for me. I don't know. I'm getting old. I can't remember shit. Well, I'm proud to report that Twizzlers definitely knows sour. It was not that fake. Here's a lemon. It's a legitimate punch to that part of it. There's different parts of your tongue, I guess, that receive different flavors differently. You get your sour, you got your sweet, you got your savory, your umami. There's a bunch of them. But they touch your tongue differently and affect it in different ways depending on what the flavor is. Well, it's not the flavor. You know what I'm trying to say. And sour does something to my tongue that I like. And these hit you in the sour olfactory part of your tongue that in just a way that it's not too bad. It's not like a crybaby or a Sour Patch Kid. But these are definitely worthy of the title sweet and sour. That definitely sums them up perfectly. The cherry is a delicious cherry flavor. The tropical punch is a delicious tropical punch flavor. When you finally get through the sweet and you get to the sour, it's a nice combination in your mouth. I highly recommend these. I'm going to give them an 8.5. These are probably some of the best Twizzlers I've had. And if I don't remember properly, it's been a long time since I've eaten a regular Twizzler, but these are a lot softer than I remember them. Like when they shouldn't have touched. Now they're going to make an orange baby. But I remember Twizzlers when I was a kid. They had like they were flatter, and then they had the sharp points. Now I understand that you have to fill these, so they have to do a different shape. However, I just remember them being harder to chew and not enjoying that. These are a softer treat, and they get an extra thumbs up for that. Well, that about wraps it up for another review and demo by the Vodkast. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed making it. And if you guys are enjoying the content that I'm creating as much as I love creating the content that you guys are watching, you should consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. Then hit that little bell icon because it'll let you know every time I put out a new video. And don't forget to make somebody smile today. Make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today. Tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier together. Let's sing and dance in the sun and in the rain as one, my brothers and sisters. Yeah. Live life to the fullest and love every moment of it, because you just never know when that last moment's going to come for you. However, never live in fear of that moment. Always live in love and never let your inner child die. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and take care of those around you who cannot take care of themselves, for they are the ones that need it the most. If no one has told you today that they love you, the Vodkast loves you very much, just the way you are. You guys take care. I'm Jason Oliver, and I'll see you a little bit further on down the road. Later, everybody.
Don't go to sleep with a catch it in your pocket.
So for those of you who are sticking around to hear my message after the show, it's going to be brief, but I know people deal with depression, and I've dealt with depression over the last few years, on and off. I've always been able to kind of just push it aside and handle it on my own and manage it. I have been great for months. Like, I haven't no reason to be in that, but feeling depressed. And I woke up in the middle of the night last night as though the world was coming to an end. My world was coming to an end. And I don't know where it came from. But I'm starting to understand it a little bit better now. It's not like, there's no trigger, I don't think. It's almost like getting a cold in some senses, where you never know. You could be out one day and everything's going fine and dandy. Somebody sneezes in your face and all of a sudden you've got influenza. And I mean, you're not spreading depression, but I felt awful, and it wasn't until I sat down that I realized I wanted to say something about it, because maybe some of you guys are going through stuff too. I had the best day yesterday. You guys won't see this until June sometime, but it was Mother's Day, and just everything went great. Like, Carol and I went out in the morning because Grayson went to a party the night before and slept late. It doesn't matter. And so we got to spend some time together and do some things that we like to do. And then we came back. We planted, the kids had bought her rose bushes, so we planted those. And just, food, everything was great. Yesterday, there was no reason for me to wake up at midnight the way I did and feel the way I did. But it happens sometimes. But I just wanted to show the people of the Vodkast, and those who may just tune in randomly to see this, that sometimes depression is laughter and giggles, and you don't see it. You don't see a damn thing that's going on underneath the surface, and you don't know what's going on in a person's life. And that's why I always say, you just kind of treat everybody equally. Be kind to one another. Be gentle with people, because you never know what they're going through. And if you can give a hand to somebody or a kind word of advice or something to a person that might help them out. Hold the door for somebody. Don't get so impatient when you're at a stoplight or waiting in line at the grocery store. Understand that the world is a very tense place right now, and we all need to do our part to alleviate that stress. And I think a lot of that will help me personally. It's asking a lot of the world, but I don't think it's asking much of individuals. If each individual just treated everyone the way they want to be treated, I think there'll be a lot less sadness and depression in the world. Hopefully. Who knows? I don't know about it. I'm no doctor. I'm no scientist. I'm no chemist. Thanks for sticking around and watching this. I'll see you in the next episode.